prior preparation prevents poor performance. I always like, before a PRS match, the week before, to come out and get my rifle truly set up, good to go, so there's one less thing to worry about. Now, first thing I'm going to do is I will torque up everything on my rifle to ensure that nothing's going to come loose as I'm shooting. Obviously the bottom of the scope rail here, I will torque up to 55, the top 25, and then the actual action screws themselves, I'll torque them up to 65 inch-pounds. And I'll check them every time. Now once I've checked them, what I like to do is I like to get a little paint pen here, so one of these lovely paint pens, you pick them up from Tesco or whatever, and I like to put a little line, give it a good shake. I actually like to mark up any screws that I apply torque to. And the reason for this is that it's a direct visual aid to know that nothing's come loose. What I'll do is I'll put a little white mark on the actual mount and then a white mark on the screw, and as long as those are lined up, nothing's moved. And the reason I've done this, or I've sort of learned to do this, is that I was at a match once and I thought something was loose because I just wasn't shooting right. And I ended up having to go to my car, get my torque driver out, checked all the torque, but everything was perfect. It was just basically me shooting poorly. And all that faffing around of time could have been eliminated by just this paint pen and a bit of good practice. So what I'm going to do, give it a good shake, and then once I've torqued it up, I'm just going to apply a little white mark onto every single screw there, and there. Now it doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to line up. And the same with the top here. So if we look at this side, I've already got the white mark from previous ones on the actual mount itself, so I'm just going to apply a white line here. And then on the other side, the same. And I'm also going to do it on the action screws. So if we turn it over here, I'm just going to put a little white mark there on the actual chassis, and then obviously you can see the old one there, but I'm going to put a new fresh one there so it's lined up. Same on the front one there. There we go. So now that I've done that, I know my rifle is all torqued up, it's all set, good to go. Now, pretty much every single match you go to, you will be allowed to zero. It's more of a check zero than it is a zero. So it's always, I think it's always best to do a proper zero, take your time before you go to a match. You don't want to turn up to a match without that confidence in knowing your rifle is spot on. Now I know not everyone's got the advantage of having a nice place like this to shoot, but I'd recommend trying if you can. If you can't, the match director will understand. But obviously, if everyone then turns up without a zeroed rifle, there's not really time to get everyone shooting. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to kind of zero my rifle, but I'm also going to get my chronograph out, my Garmin chronograph, and I'm going to get a muzzle velocity for my rifle. I think it's good practice as well to periodically check your muzzle velocity in any circumstance, because they will change as your barrel ages, as your brass ages, and as you go through different batches of powder and bullets. So what I like to do is I like to reload a couple of days, a week before a match, all my ammunition, and I'll reload an extra 20 rounds extra on top of what I'm taking to a match. And with that 20 rounds, I'll come down here and I will zero my rifle on that ammo, but I'll also chronograph to that ammo and then potentially put that in my ballistics calculator if it's any different. Obviously, if it's no different, then that is a very good feeling, that puts you up for success, definitely when you know that everything is singing true before you even turn up to a match. It's a nice feeling, but it doesn't always work like that way. So that's why I come down and do this. So yeah, I thought I'd talk about that. That's my little routine. Get it chronoed, get it zeroed, torque everything up, and then just apply a little bit of paint pen onto my mounts and my chassis, to make sure I can visually inspect them if anything has moved. Hopefully that's helpful for some of you. Hopefully you might incorporate that into your pre-match routine. If you have any questions about why or how I do certain things, if you want to see more videos on how I build up, how I practice on the lead up to a match, let me know down in the comments below. Thank you very much for watching. That's everything from me.